All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's your girl, Nakia P. Evans. This show is Rediscovering Me TV. And on this show, we empower, we inspire, we encourage, and we also share stories of other women's journeys on rediscovering themselves or perhaps just discovering themselves the very first time. No one can tell us when we reach that point. Each journey looks different, right? Each one of our journeys look different. And I'm excited today because we have a very special guest with us. She's a friend. We've worked together, we've done some things together in the past. And I'm super, super excited that she's back in her stuff. She's back in her groove, but she's going to share her story of rediscovering herself and also about pursuing her dreams. So I'm going to bring on Sequoia Gillyard. And just to give you a little background information, just a little bit, because I want her to come and share so much more about herself. But Sequoia is a writer, she's a poet, she is the editor in chief of Rejoicing Hope magazine. Okay. And she also has a podcast called The Journey to Empowerment. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Sequoia on. Hey, love, how are
Yay!
you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm happy to see you. So excited to see you back, doing your thing. And it's been a minute since we were
Yes.
actually able to get together. So this is really good. So Sequoia, share a little bit with, about yourself with our audience.
Well, thank you, first of all, Nakia, so much for allowing me to be a part of your platform and, just to be able to speak to your audience. So, you said a mouthful already about me. But one of the things that I am very, I stand on is, first of all, that I am a follower of Christ. And I say that because everything that I say and I do, I want to be able to reflect, Christ into those things in my relationships, in the work that I do, in the gifts and the talents, how I use them. I want them all to be able to glorify God. And so when people meet me, like I'm not a super religious person where I'm totally out of touch of with reality, but it's like I want to make sure that I'm focused, on God and everything that I'm doing, and even how I treat people, even how I speak on this platform. I want to make sure that He's honored in everything that I do, and I am a person that loves people, and for me, like it would used to be hard for me to be able to say that because of my experiences with people. But over the years of me being in my relationship with Christ, like He has taught me how to love people beyond hurt, beyond disappointment. So I am a person who loves to laugh, who loves to have fun. I could be the energy in the room, and sometimes you may have to pull back a little bit because I do have my introverted friends, so I know how to switch it up when I need to.
I understand that. I totally get that.
Yes, but I'm a very creative person. Love the performing arts in general, and so for me, my area of anointing, as I say, is with the writing, with poetry, theater, acting. All of those things is what encompasses, me. I'm a very compassionate person, so I love doing volunteer work. I love working with our youth. I believe, that they are our future leaders and that they need people to pour into them. So I want to be that mentor to the youth that I wish that I had,
Right.
growing up. I did have people, thankfully, that God brought along in my life, but I wish sometimes it happened a little bit earlier. So, I try to be that for other people. So that's kind of like me in a nutshell. I'm very
Okay.
much a straight shooter. You get what you get. I don't change up for
Okay.
anybody.
Mhm.
I just love, being who I am. And I say that confidently now because I couldn't say that before years ago. So
That's it.
yeah, it's a little bit about
Okay.
me.
Okay, absolutely. I love it. I love it,
Thank
love.
you.
So, one thing we're talking about relentlessly pursuing your
Yes,
dreams, okay? And I saw earlier that you posted and celebrated that you graduated school. Am I correct?
yes, absolutely.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So,
Thank you.
tell us about that journey, because I know it's
Woo!
not easy, and each one of us, like, our journeys are different.
Yeah,
Like, my experience with school may not be your experience. So share with us, like, that journey of getting to where you are now.
absolutely. So for me, that journey started way back in 2006. And so in my mind, I had this, thought that, hey, I'm going to go off to school. Started at Winthrop University in Rock Hill, South Carolina. I was going to do my traditional 4 years and I was going to be done, right? No, no, no. That is not how the situation worked out. I am grateful for my experience at Winthrop. I'm grateful for the people that I came in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
But my time there was great in some aspects. And then my time there was like, God, only you can get me out of this situation. And so I came in and I didn't realize that the things that I struggled with was procrastination or not being disciplined, because I had gotten used to being in honors classes from middle school on up to high school, had the opportunity to be in honors classes in college, and I was like, I don't want to put that pressure on me. That was the worst mistake I ever
Wow.
made, Nakia, because it was that having to, not necessarily live up to other people's expectation, but knowing that people see greatness in you, and it's like they're requiring that greatness through your academic excellence. Like I was like, I just want to be regular, and I'm pretty sure people who have been in honor classes or AP classes, they can, understand that, like, they just want to be regular sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I went through that. And like I said, I didn't have the discipline. So I got used to, being in high school, not really having to study or anything. And then I'm coming out to college. And I realized that, at least for me, I was studying theater, that it wasn't a hard major, but I lacked the discipline. I lacked the focus.
Mm-hmm.
And also coupled with that, I was dealing with family issues as well, too. And then a part of that 4-year experience, I was dealing with depression. I was dealing with being sexually assaulted. I was dealing with being on the verge of a nervous breakdown. And so it got to the point where my grades started to suffer. And I was on academic suspension, not once, but twice, and close to possibly a third time. And they were like, look, and I'm so grateful because I had God places people in so many different places, in our lives. And, you don't know how they're going to play a part, their role in your life and help you to get to the next step. But I'm so grateful that one of the financial aid coordinators, like, she was like going to bat for me. And I was on the verge of, being kicked out of school. And she was like, look, you got to get it together. And, she
Right.
knows all this stuff that I'm dealing with. And I'm like, I know I got to get it together. I can't flunk out of school, But by the grace of God, I came back and I started again in school. And by this time it was 2013. So
Mm-hmm.
let me back up a little bit. So whilst I was on my suspension, my first one was just a semester. Second one is a whole year. And I was like, I don't want to be out of school for a whole year. So I took it upon myself, didn't pray about it, didn't ask God. I went to the local technical college and I was like, well, I'm just going to go here and take some, beginner classes or whatever like that. So I can transfer back to when I go to the university, right? But I realized that I stayed longer than I should have at the technical college, because really I hadn't really dealt with the fact of, oh my gosh, I am on academic suspension. I am spiraling out of control, here in this other area of my life with school. And so I stayed out of fear. I love what I was learning. I was studying computer and electronic engineering. A lot of people who know me, I'm a very geeky person when it comes to technology. But I know that I wasn't there because, hey, I want to stay here and just give these general classes. It became a crutch for me. And so I stayed longer than I should until God was like, I need you to go back to what you're supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back to the university in 2013, did very well, because at this point I'm like, I wasn't on academic probation, but they had me on some type of, plan where, look, you got to do good. So I came back, did really well. Then 2014 comes and it's like, oh, your financial aid, you don't have enough money to cover school. So now that I got my stuff together, I don't have enough money. When I tell you, the kid, that was the most hurtful thing, because for me, my educational journey meant a lot to me, at that time. And I'm like, God, I finally got myself together, and now I don't have no money. So I had to make, the hard decision to be able to sit out of school. So from 2014 up until 2018, the fall of 2018, I wasn't in school. And I was just heartbroken. And so for me, I was like, you know what, God, I did what you told me to do. Now I don't have the funding. I just put it to the side, because for me at that point it was too hurtful for me to even think about school. So, of course I'm a working adult by then. So I just immersed myself into the workforce. But I always had this nagging, and I know it's Holy Spirit in the back of my mind, like, you gotta go back to school. You have to go back to school. Other people encouraging me, like, you have to go back to school. And I'm like, I want to go back to school, but how am I going to pay for it? So I got so many different prophetic words, over the years. And once I made up in my mind, I'm like, okay, God, it got to a point where it's like, I know I have to go to school. I can't put it off any longer. I'm like, God, I don't know where the funding is going to come from, but I just have to trust you. And it got to the point where God was speaking that, the money was going to come. I didn't know where, but it was going to come. And so I'm thankful for my mentor. Like, she was like, okay, if God is telling you to go back to school, ask him, hey, what are the steps? What does he want you to do in order to make this goal a reality? And so, I started praying. I started talking to God, and I realized that I was making this all about me, about what I had or what I didn't have, in my bank account. And I'm like, God, you know what? If you're telling me that you want me to pursue this, then it's not just on me. You have a part to play too. But I was making it seem like it's all about Sequoia and what she got and what she don't got in her bank account. And I'm not including you in this process. And so by me praying and talking to God and actually asking him, hey God, where do you want me to go to school? How is this going to work? I'm working now. When I started school before, I wasn't really working. So, I didn't have to try to juggle school and work. But he was like, okay, well, we're going to do online courses. I was like, okay, God, hold on, wait a minute now. I took an online course before, and I'm like, Lord, I don't know. But so I was like, okay, God, that works out. Give me the flexibility that I need. And I'm like, okay, well, I was studying theater before. What do you want me to study? Because I can't study acting online, which we all know now Corona has changed that. But at the time, it's like, theater was an in-person, major that you go and study. So, I was taking, inventory of my gifts. And, God was like, study communication. And then he got even more clear, journalism. And so as I was praying about what schools to go to, I looked at several different, universities. I even posted here on Facebook, hey, you all, I'm looking to go to school online. Do you have any recommendations? And I took those recommendations and found schools of my own. And I looked at the programs and like, okay, what registered, with me as far as like, hey, the field of the school. And I'm like, okay, God, what school do you want me to go to? And so I prayed about it again. And then he said, hey, go to Regent University. So that's where I went. And it was, when I tell you, Nakia, from that point on, it seemed like everything was just falling into place. So of course I did what I needed to do. I applied. They called. Next thing I know, it seemed like within 48 hours, I'm enrolled in school. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? It happened that quickly. And I thank God for even my admissions counselor, who I'm still in relationship with today. So this is God doing all this work. But at the same time, I just need to have enough faith to take the step that he was telling me to take and doing it in partnership with him. So a lot of times when we're trying to pursue our dreams and our goals, a lot of times we're trying to do it outside of God. And then we want to include God when we think we need him, but he need to be there from the onset. Every step of the way, God need to be there with you as you're, pursuing your dreams and your goals. And so got enrolled in that first semester. I'm like, thought I didn't have no funding for school as far as like financial aid or anything. It was like, yeah, you got financial aid. I'm like, I do. What? Where did this money come from? Because the last time I was in school, that made it seem like I didn't have nobody left, and that's why I was not in school, right? So I had to come up with my portion, and thank God, God allowed people to pour into me. So I had people, that sent me people I still to they have not met, okay, have blessed me to be able to help me with tuition, help me with my books, and that was a reoccurring thing. And not only that, but God also showed me other different resources that I could take advantage of to be able to help me pay for school that I had no idea about beforehand. So here I am, not wanting to pursue this goal, this dream, that God gave me. Because, like I said, for me, school was not just about Sequoia. I knew this was something that God wanted me to do because he kept pressing it on my heart, my spirit. Like it was to the point where I can't avoid this anymore. Like I have to do it. So it's like, okay, God, He's providing everything that I need. And so it's like, okay, God, if you're able to do this, the very least that I can do is while I'm in school is to do my very best. And so I made, the dean's list. I made all A's my first semester. I'm like, God, I don't want to mess this up because I know that me being in school this time around for sure is a miracle. And I don't want to forfeit the work that you have done in my life. And I know that I'm not just taking this journey for myself, but I'm taking it to be an encouragement for other people. And the other thing is that when you're pursuing your goals and your dreams, like sometimes kid, it got to get to the point where sometimes you are totally laser focused, tunnel focused. And so I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to focus on school, I literally shut everything down. So I didn't do my podcast. I didn't work on my magazine. And I wanted to make sure I gave myself enough time to be able to focus on, my education. And again, I'm a full-time working adult. So I'm like, God, if I have to put everything else to the side to be able to focus on this, then that's what I will do. If I have to sacrifice relationships as far as like going to hang out and stuff like that, I didn't have a social life for 3 years. I did not have a social life. Sometimes I may have did a little here and there, but not really. I was kind of like quiet in my own world, trying to focus on this goal because I have to accomplish this. I've been waiting too long to make this, a reality, right? And not only that, but even with my finances, I'm like, look, I would love to be able to take this trip. I would love to go out to eat. I would love to do this, but I have tuition and books to pay for. So when I get money coming in, I'm saving up this money because I know next semester, hey, I may get some financial aid, but I know that I'm still going to have to come out of pocket as well too. Right. So I'm trusting and believing God, and doing my part as well too. So I may have to make those sacrifices, and sometimes we may not want to do that, but when you are, so focused and so relentless about pursuing your dreams and your goal, you'll do whatever ethically, make sure I say that, ethically, okay, that is necessary to be able to accomplish, your goals. And so that's how I was just head down in my books. It's me and God focusing on my relationships. The other thing that helped me along this journey was the fact that not only did I have God supporting me, but I also had people to hold me accountable. And I think that is absolutely necessary for people. And I know everybody may not have that. So if it's just you and God, really, if it's just you and God, all you need is God. So I'm not saying that you absolutely need somebody, but for me, it helped me on my journey that I had people holding me accountable, like my mentor, or I had other people that were in my class, like, look, you got this homework assignment due, you have this paper to write, you have this project due. No, you can't go hang out or do anything else today or this weekend. You have to get this work done. So that helped me as well too, having that accountability and making sure that once again that I'm honoring, what God has done in my life. Because I'm like, God, I don't want you to go through all of this. And I know it's effortless for God. But I'm like, God, I don't want you to have done all of this and then I waste it. Like I don't do what I need to do because at the end of the day, we're in partnership. And we can think about that in our relationships, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, whether you're at your job, when you're working together as a team or in a partnership and somebody don't pull their weight, they don't do what they're supposed to do, it just messes up everything. And so I'm like, God, I want to be faithful because you were faithful to me and bringing about this miracle in my life. So the very least I could do is to do what is absolutely necessary to be able to make this goal and this dream, a reality. The other thing is that I had to let go. I had to release my past failures. I had to release my past mistakes. I had to release the hurt, that experience from different people along the way as I was going through school. Like I said, I dealt with being sexually assaulted by somebody that's very close to me. I dealt with family issues as well too. So all of these things I was carrying, the fact that, oh my gosh, I failed, in school before. I've always been known as an honor student, very serious about my education, and here I am, like was doing horrible in school. So I had to let all of that go and realize that God gave me a clean slate to start fresh. The beautiful thing about it is that with starting fresh, I didn't have to start all the way back from the starting point. Because when I got back to, this is how God works, and I love him. When I first got back to the university in 2013, I think when I left, I might have been considered like a freshman or a sophomore, right? Came back, I'm a junior now because I was able to transfer some of the classes from the technical college back to the university. Here, I'm at Regent University. I am considered coming in as a senior because they use my credits from the university and the technical school. So you see how God is working. Like sometimes we think you may have to start from the very bottom. God's like, no, I will accelerate you. So I came in as a senior here, and I'm like, in my mind, it's to somebody else that may not seem like a big deal, but to me, it's like seeing the fact that, my gosh, like I was in last place. And now it's like God has ushered me up. It's like he has accelerated. So I'm not having to start all the way over in my educational journey. So it didn't take me as long to be able to get my degree. I took maybe like 2 or 3 classes every semester, except for one semester. And I went to school all year long. So can you imagine being in school all year long, no summer breaks or anything like that? But again, I was so dedicated and I was committed to this goal, this dream that God gave me to be able to accomplish. So those are some of the things, that I had to go through, but it's worth it because when I saw this month, January 12th, when I went and checked my degree progress, because I've been done with school since last year. But it's not official until they do the whole degree clearance and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, now we say your degree is awarded. When I saw that, Nakia, I just broke down and cried. I'm working from home, so I'm at home, and I just broke down and cried because I was like, God, I have been working. We have been working for this off and on for 15 years. And I'm not ashamed to say that. And I say that because sometimes people may think that the goals and dreams that we want to accomplish, that they may happen in the blink of an eye. I'm not saying God can't do it. But sometimes because of various circumstances, it may take a little bit longer. And I had moments before when I would see my friends, not out of jealousy, but when I would see people that I came to college with, and they saw them on their graduation day, and I'm like, oh, that was supposed to be me. You having those moments and stuff, or anytime graduation season came up, I'm like, oh, that was supposed, but even in that, God's like, nah, it's going to be you. It's going to be you. But at the same time, you have to be patient. So it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get to where it is that you're trying to go or to accomplish whatever dream, whatever goal that you're trying to accomplish. The thing that is most important is that you do not quit. You don't give up. You don't allow self-doubt. You don't allow any negativity from anybody else. You don't allow your fears, past mistakes, any of that to stop you from keeping that momentum going. Because the moment that you allow any of that to slow you down or to stop you, then you won't continue. You know what I'm saying? So what if I say, well, you know what, God, I don't have the money for the school thing. Just forget about the school thing. I don't really need no degree to be successful. So I'm not gonna worry about it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I know college is not for everybody. And in the grand scheme of things, that there are very successful people that do not have college degrees. So I'm not saying that for everybody you have to go to college to be successful. But I know a part of my journey for me to be able to get to my next level where God wanted me to be, I needed that degree. And so I'm like, okay, God, you know what? I'm grateful that, hey, I now see in clear letters degree awarded. So that's what I saw. And that's when I posted on Facebook that I have officially graduated. The other thing that I love about God is a lot of times He will allow us to experience things before it's a full manifestation. So last year, I was a part of the 2021 graduating class, right? So I had the opportunity, although I was not completely finished with school, I had the opportunity to participate in commencement. I had did my graduation pictures. I did my graduation invite video because at Regent University, they only have graduation once a year. So every May is when they have graduation. So as long as you have 9 credits or less, they will allow you to participate in commencement for that year. So I was like, God, you know what? I may not be done all the way with my classes, but they said I can participate in graduation. I know I'll be done at the end of summer. Let's go. I'm going to experience this graduation. And the beautiful thing is that I was doing an internship over the summer. And so I turned in my work. The last month was in September, which is after this summer session that I was originally supposed to finish in. A lot of people will be like, oh my gosh, be freaking out, right? Not me, because I realized that because of me doing that, it gave me the opportunity to participate in another graduation ceremony, which I will be there this May, which is Regent's first in-person graduation in what, like 2 or 3 years now. So, you know, because of the corona thing, right? And so I'm like, okay, God, at first I was like, I'm glad that I get to be a part of, you know, virtual, but it's not the same though, you know, as a walking up and, you know, getting your diploma and everything like that. And so I'm like, okay, God, I pray, you know, of course, for safety and everything like that. But I'm like, God, I'm thankful that you're allowing me the opportunity to be able to experience something to solidify that, hey, I have accomplished this goal that I thought was absolutely impossible. And so one of the shirts that I got made for my graduation is, I said, God makes the impossible possible. And that was one of the shirts that He told me to get made for my graduation pictures. And I wore it tonight because I wanted to remind people that God does make the impossible possible. Because in our finite thinking, we're looking at our own limitations. But those of us who are followers of Christ, like, we know that there is no limits when it comes to God. There's nothing that He can't do as long as we have faith, believe in Him, and also taking those action steps as well too. So yeah.
Good. Awesome. Awesome. And I love that, you know, you're showing, you know, your gratefulness and honor to God with, you know, everything that He's done, the doors that He's opened for you. And I'm excited. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
I am, you know, seeing your post on Facebook and seeing how excited you are and hearing you talk about it. We could tell the passion of how important, you know, that was to you. So, Sequoia, I wanna ask you, like, during this process, you said that, you know, you're going to school, you're also dealing with things on the side. How hard was that to balance, and how were you able to make it through?
Nakia. When I tell you, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had some moments where, you know, I broke down. You know, whether it was tears. I had some moments where, you know, I just wanted to be alone. I don't want to be around nobody. But I realized that at the end of the day, that I wasn't alone on the journey. Even when I had my moments of feeling like it. Like, God, is this really worth it? Like, am I really going to make it through this? I will tell you that if it wasn't for my relationship with God, I know I wouldn't be here today. I would have made it through the things that, I've endured over the years, because a lot of people have not. They succumb to those things that they were facing, unfortunately. Also, in addition to my relationship with God, is having the right people in my circle that will motivate me. I'm gonna be honest and pray for me, Nakia, when I couldn't motivate myself and I couldn't pray for myself, and that's just being completely real, completely honest. But sometimes people want to make, accomplishing your goals and your dreams seem like this, rose petal experience. A lot of times it's really not. You're going through some stuff, you're just not saying it. So I've been, like I say, on the other side, as believers would say, of the mountain, having my own mountain experience. And I'm like, okay, God, there are some times where it's like, okay, I need to pray, I need to worship, whatever it is I need to do to get strength in this moment, to be able to do whatever it is that I need to do, to be able to accomplish this goal. Crying while I'm doing homework. Matter of fact, I was so committed and dedicated. Nakia, I was writing a paper. It's the last day of school last year that Regent University had graduation. I was writing a paper. So I totally missed my name being called and my picture shown. So thankfully they recorded it. So, I was able to go back and see. But I was so committed that I was writing a paper doing that initial, announcements and stuff like that. I didn't even hear my name being called. So I had to go back. But you have those moments like that. And so for me, reaching out, whether it was in prayer, talking to God, having those cry moments, or reaching out to my community and letting them know, hey, I'm struggling today. Hey, I just need a word of encouragement. Hey, I just need to talk. I just need to vent. Whatever it is that I needed to do in that moment to get over that moment, that's what I did. Okay. And I've seen the fruit of that, because a lot of times we think that we're in it by ourselves, and we're not, but it's good to have a community of people that you can go to in addition. So you have that spiritual aspect, and then you have it in the natural as well too. You have people supporting you. So that's very important. So that's honestly how I got through. God and my peoples. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay. And that's good, because, we all need a support system sometimes. We all need someone that can, keep us accountable. I mean, we don't have to always do it by ourselves.
Yes.
That's the thing. We don't have to always do it by ourselves.
Yes.
So that's good that you were able to have, a community to support you and so forth. Now, I do want to ask you, during this process, with everything that you had going on, what did you learn about yourself?
Oh, that's so good. I learned that one, for me, I'm not alone. That was one thing that I struggled with for a lot of years in my life, that I'm not alone, that I do have God with me. I do have my community. Two, I don't have to be strong all the time. It is okay for me to be vulnerable. It's okay for me to tell people that, hey, I'm having, as I call it, a moment. I'm having a moment. I just need some encouragement. I don't have to be Wonder Woman, or anything like that, that I can learn to be vulnerable. I learned that I am someone where if I say that, hey, this is what I'm going to pursue, I don't care what comes my way. I will pursue that thing until it's accomplished. That I don't give up. I may get knocked down. I may have moments where, I might be in ICU, I'm saying you might have those hard moments. But at the end of the day, I will get back up, because I am so focused and so dedicated, so committed to being able to accomplish whatever it is that God wants me to accomplish in my life, that I won't quit. I don't care what anybody says. As long as I got a yes from God, that's all that I need. And I'm going, no matter what comes my way, I'm going to continue to pursue that. And so I feel like those are like the biggest things that I learned about myself. And the other thing that I learned, and this is the biggest thing that I learned, is that it's okay to fail. And I say that because that used to be my fear. I was like, I don't ever want to fail at anything. I learned that it's okay to fail. I learned that I don't have to be perfect or try to be perfect. I also learned discipline. I learned that how to sacrifice, that sometimes I have to deny myself in order to be able to, you know, accomplish whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So I learned a lot of great lessons. I learned to be proud of myself. Because a lot of times I feel like we beat ourselves down because we're looking at, our mistakes, we're looking at our past, our failures, we're thinking about all the negative things that people have said about us. And so we sometimes we become our own critics, and we're allowing what other people say and think, and then even ourselves, our negative thinking. So I had to learn to be proud of myself. I had to learn to be my own cheerleader. I got to hype myself up even if nobody else believes. Sequoia, you better believe in yourself. You better believe that you're going to graduate whatever year, whatever, month it's going to be. You better believe it. Nobody else, So those are some of the things that honestly that I definitely learned about myself.
Yeah. Okay. And that's good. And when we go through things like that, that makes us, we feel better about it because it's so much growth. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I did this. Now I know I can do anything else. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. So you are back into the social and media world. So yes. So tell us, what's going on with your magazine and your podcast and anything else that you have going on.
Okay, thank you. So, as you mentioned earlier in the introduction, I have my online women's magazine called Rejoicing Hope. And that was a vision that God gave me, I think around 2015, 2016, maybe is when God gave me the vision for that. Mm-hmm. And, I wanted to be able to speak in the lives of women, through the written and spoken word. And so the written word is where I'm able to write, for the magazine, and the podcast is the spoken aspect of that. And I feel like there are so many women who are, suffering in silence, they're lost, they're hurting, and they don't feel like they have anybody, or people don't understand, what they're going through. And so I want to be that voice or that light, to say, hey, I understand, I may not have experienced the same thing that you have experienced, or I could have, and hey, you know what? I am partnering with God to be able to write. So when I'm writing, I'm not just writing something to grab people's attention or just to write to say, hey, I wrote something. I'm literally praying, talking to God, like, God, what do you want to say to your children? What is on your heart to be able to speak to your daughters who are going through a variety of issues that I don't know anything about? I'm just writing whatever he tells me to write, or I'm speaking through the podcast, whatever he tells me to speak, and praying that those who listen, or that those who read the articles, that they are being encouraged and that they are being empowered, and that ultimately that they would get to that place of empowerment, in their own lives, and that they will be able to pay it forward. Because I realize that there are people who have poured into me, who have encouraged me, who have, helped me to realize, my own inner strength. And I want to be able to do that for somebody else. And not only that, but I want them to be able to do that for somebody else. It's a chain effect, a reaction. And so that's what the magazine and the podcast is all about, inspiring, encouraging, motivating people. And just like I say, I'm not super like religious, so I'm not spreading, talking Jesus every 30 seconds. But you better believe if I don't say Jesus on our podcast or in that magazine article, you better believe it's God inspired. So that's what I'm doing with the magazine and with the podcast. And I'm hoping to in the future, once it's safe again, we pass this whole corona situation, to be able to do writing workshops, healing writing workshops. So I was doing that before. And I'm hoping to get back into that and then also do other live events, that is stemmed from the magazine and the podcast. So I have some wonderful contributors, for the magazine. I'm very blessed to have them. And so in the future, we're looking to do more, virtual things, and also in-person events as well too.
Okay, awesome, awesome. I'm so excited for you, love. I
Thank
am happy
you.
for you. And just hearing what you've went through, what you experienced, and now seeing you and hearing how excited and everything you are is beautiful and it's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
So, last thing I want to do is just give you just some room for you to, share with someone if you want to, say some encouraging or empowering words, and also share with them how they can reach out, contact, your magazine and podcast and things like that.
Okay, absolutely. So I would definitely say, first of all, it's never too late. That you have so much power on the inside of you that you have not tapped in. I want to let you know that you're not alone, that God is with you, even in the moments where you may feel like He's off in the distance. I promise you, He's right there. You have the power, you have the authority to be able to pursue whatever dream, whatever goal that God has given you to be able to pursue. Whether that's a business, whether that's a ministry, whether that's a podcast, whether that's a clothing line, whether that's in the arena of education, whatever that thing is, or things, if it's multiple, you have the power and you have the authority to be able to pursue those things. And you have to forgive yourself for any mistakes that you have made. You have to release yourself from your past failures. God is not holding on to those things, so you shouldn't either. And I know sometimes that's easier said than done because we're replaying it over and over and over again in our minds. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision that you're going to allow what happened yesterday to stay in yesterday and that you're going to move forward. And in moving forward, knowing that you have this amazing God that's right beside you. So include Him in your decision making, include Him in the process. As a matter of fact, He wants to be a part of it. He wants to blow your mind. When I think about my journey and I look back and I realize this whole time I was so focused on, God, I don't have this. How am I going to do this? I don't have the resources. And here I am telling the source of everything that I don't have when He has it. And the only thing I have to do is connect with Him and allow Him to be a part of that journey. So allow God to walk you through this next step. And don't hesitate. When He tells you to move, you move. That's point blank. You don't have to explain it to anybody else. It may seem crazy to other people that may not understand, but at the end of the day, you have to be obedient to what God tells you to do. I did things where my friends, they love me, but at the end of the day, they didn't want me to do certain things. Not that they were bad, but I had to make decisions. I had to literally sometimes physically relocate because God told me to. It's like, oh, we're going to miss you. I know you're going to miss me. I'm going to miss you too. But God is telling me I need to move. And so if God is telling me I need to move somewhere, I'm going to move. Because at the end of the day, I know me staying in this place symbolizes a comfort zone. And so you have to move outside of that comfort zone. And so when God tells you to do anything, you do it. No questions asked. Just move and trust that he will, as you're obedient to making those steps, that he will cover you. Every move that God told me to make, it was so easy. So easy. And I know a lot of times people think that you have to struggle. And I'm not saying that there may not be times where you come up against things, but for me, this process over the past couple of years, I realized that things were just falling into place. I didn't have to work for it. It's like, God, I'm trusting you. You're telling me to do this. I'm doing this, and this is manifesting. This is manifesting. You're bringing these people into my life to be able to help me on this next leg. I didn't even know these people from nowhere, but you are sending people to be able to help me because I'm being obedient and I'm trusting you in that process. So when he tells you to move, move. And move outside, he's going to tell you move outside of your comfort zone. And so you will have to do some things that may initially make you feel uncomfortable, but everything that you want is on the outside of your comfort zone. So yes, I could have stayed in where I was, but God said, hey, I need you to move. That was a place of comfort for me. So you have to be so dedicated that you're willing to go outside of your comfort zone. Stop doing what you used to do. Try whatever this new thing, whatever new way God wants to be able to take you, whatever new path that he wants to take you on. Be willing to go. Be willing to adventure into this new zone, into this new dimension with God. And the other thing is, give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. And I say that because thinking about my own journey, I used to be so hard on myself, so hard on myself. And I'm thinking that God is being hard on me. And God is like, no, give yourself grace. So I'm telling you to give yourself grace. This is not a sprint. Okay, it's a marathon. Okay, it's not a sprint. It's not something where you have to start today and you're going to see the manifestation tomorrow. Not saying God can't work like that, but some things is really, as you are going and you're building momentum. Like if I had accomplished this goal of graduating in a quick amount of time, I don't really feel like I would have learned the lessons. I would have gotten closer in my relationship with God. I would have, learned to really depend and trust in God the way that I did, and learn all the different lessons that I shared that I learned about this journey. It was just a quick process. So I'm telling you to give yourself grace. Yes, you may make mistakes. Yes, you may experience some failures along the way, even to your road to success. You will experience some failures, and it's okay. But don't stop. That's the other thing. Do not stop. If you take a little break, meaning you might have to catch your breath a little second and keep running, but do not stop. Don't give up. Because at the end of the day, your journey is not just about you. I realized that me going to school was not just about me, that I would be coming in contact with people like yourself that want to give up on whatever it is that you're trying to, accomplish. And I needed to tell you to hang in there because I did. I needed to hang in there because I needed to be able to say, hey, look, I know where you are. I may not be trying to accomplish the same thing that you're trying to accomplish, but I know where you are. I know how it feels to feel like, hey, you move one step forward and then you get pushed 2 steps back. I know it. But at the end of the day, I refuse to let go. And I'm telling you to refuse to let go of that dream, to let go of that goal, that you have to keep going. You can't stop at all. Because guess what? You're going to be the person that once you accomplish that goal and achieve that dream, you're going to be the inspiration. You're going to be that win that somebody else needs, that is ready to quit, that's on the verge, at the breaking point, and they feel like they can't hold on. But you're going to be that person that God is going to send and say, hey, you know what? Don't quit, because I didn't do it. I didn't quit. And this is what God has been able to accomplish in my life. So be a witness. of God's glory, of what he can do in the earth and our lives. So I know that, hey, what I went through, what I experienced, that's for God's glory. And not only that, but I'm able to share that with people and encourage them. And you're going to be able to do that same thing as well, too. And know that what you have to offer is so amazing. Whatever it is that your dream is supposed to accomplish in this earth, with me being in communications, I know that I'm supposed to be writing and speaking positivity in the lives of people. People's lives are supposed to be changed. Whatever it is that your dream, your goal is supposed to accomplish in the earth, whatever reason God puts you here for, know that it is absolutely necessary. So it's not all about you. You can't quit. It's a reason that God told you to do whatever it is that he told you to do. It's a reason. People need it. Even and don't be discouraged if sometimes people get discouraged because they're like, well, my family don't support me, my friends, they don't believe me. It don't matter. It don't matter. I promise you, there are people that you may never ever meet whose lives you will touch because you did not give up on your dream. You didn't give up on the goals that you set for yourself, that God entrusted to you. And that's the other thing, is that God entrusts these dreams. And I had to tell myself that. I'm like, you know what? This dream is not mine. God, you entrusted me with this dream. And I want to make sure that this dream is birthed, that this dream comes to fruition. And that whatever I need to do to make it happen, that God, together we make it happen, that's what we're going to do at the end of the day, point blank. And so I just want to encourage you, for you to know that you are amazing. And a lot of times we are so hard on ourselves and we're looking at ourselves, we're being our own worst critic. But I want you to know that you're amazing, that there's so much in you that needs to come out. You don't have to hide. You don't have to try to be what other people want you to be, or what you think they want you to be. All you have to be is a person that God created you to be. That's it. You don't have to try to do anything else but just be who God told you to be. So you can take off the mask. You can come from behind the scenes and come forward. Because a lot of times we want to hide in the background, but God is calling you forth. And you need to come forth, because I need what you have. I don't know what it is, but I need it. So, and there are other people in this world that need what you have. So stop hiding. Stop trying to be who other people want you to be. Be who God tells you that you're supposed to be, and show up confidently. It doesn't matter what anybody else have to say. You show up and you be you that God created you to be, and turn off the critic in your head. Turn it off. And I say that because, like I said, sometimes we are so much in our head. We have all of these different thoughts going on. It's like, no, if it ain't positive, you don't need to be listening to it. So turn that critic off, because sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves, and it's like, we need to give ourselves grace. And so those are my words of encouragement to you. If you want to connect with me, I'm on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as Sequoia T. Gillyard. If you want to follow the magazine, it's at rejoicinghope.com. And you can also check out the podcast on that on the magazine site as well too. They're linked together. But yeah, I pray that I have been able to encourage you in some way, because I know that whatever it is that God wants you to accomplish, that is going to be so amazing and so awesome. And I want to say up front that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for giving yourself permission to accomplish and achieve your goals and your dreams. I'm proud of you for never giving up. I'm proud of you for choosing to show up for yourself and to be a great impact in the world. So thank you.
Awesome. Sequoia, thank you so much, love, for pouring into, our audience. I want y'all to take what she's saying. Like, our journeys are the same, but once you get to a point where you really, really want something, go get it. Just like she
Yeah.
said, go get it. And we do have to turn that critic off in our heads. I know me
Yes.
myself, I am hard on me, okay? I am hard on me. I gotta do some work on that. But thank you, Sequoia, for coming. Thank you for sharing. Again, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, girl.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh man, I'm trying to tell
Oh,
you no idea. I said I'm gonna have the biggest party when Corona is over, the biggest graduation party of the century.
that's good, as you
Yes,
should. You deserve it.
absolutely.
You deserve
Thank
it.
you.
Absolutely. So thank you again, Sequoia. Everyone, make sure I will be posting her information under here. Okay. So make sure that you go follow, share, like, all that good stuff. Okay. All right. Again, Sequoia, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Take care, love. All right, everyone. So listen, thank you for joining us on Rediscovering Me TV. Okay, again, this is an international radio. This is an international TV show. I'm so used to saying radio, guys. I'm trying to venture out in the other. But this show is a part of Ruach Life Network. Okay, Ruach Life Network is my network that I own. It is an affiliate network of SIBN, and we are broadcasting to 177 countries. Okay, so we do have openings, guys. If you would like to share your story, your journey, anything, your testimony on our show, please make sure that you reach out and let me know. Okay, and also for those of you who are kind of interested in getting started with your own show, rather TV or radio, hit your girl up, because I got both. Okay, I offer both. Okay. And we got some good deals and good sales and things like that. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you join us every Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we will be talking with Chiza Roby on the importance of mental health. Okay, so we're going to talk about mental health. If you know me, I talk about this topic a lot because that's my area right now. I'm in there right now. Okay, so we want to talk with her. She has a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge in that, and we're just going to chit chat. Okay, so if you have any questions or anything, make sure you hit your girl up. Again, thank you so much. I love y'all. Have a great evening.